But let's move on to the final topic for this week's episode. Non-draft related, but still very important, especially around this time. The Ravens have cap space currently, but a lot of people are thinking they got to use it on an extension. And there's a lot of players up for extension. Kyle Hamilton, Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Tyler Linderbaum, Odafe Owe, Rashad Bateman. If you're Eric DeCosta, who are you getting on that phone first? Who are you signing the check for as fast as possible?
Well, now that we have a franchise quarterback, I can't take away Linderbaum from him. I'm sorry. I would say Tyler Linderbaum and how Lamar is for the next couple of years. I feel like it's going to be a Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday type of relationship. Linderbaum goes out there for him. He's grown into that nastiness of a Ryan Jensen. He's all about protecting his QB. I mean, hell, he's one of the smartest guys out there on the field. Yes, he's a little undersized. Yes, we have seen rare moments of him being overpowered. But outside of that, I think it would be Linderbaum. I think EDC will probably either EDC or Lamar will probably reach out to one another and say, "Hey, man, listen, I need my guy here." Because at the end of the day, as a QB, you become you understand regular cadence between them. Y'all understand it's a relationship that y'all build, and you can't just constantly keep on breaking it up. I mean, hell, look at the offensive line last year, for instance. They made maybe one or two switches, but they rolled with that. After those last two switches, they rolled with that offensive line. They trusted it. They stood on business. So yeah, we're not making no changes. We're gonna do this in practice. We're gonna work on this, and it showed on Sundays. So when you have that relationship, you don't want to continuously break it and try to have somebody rebuild it. So I think Linderbaum is one of the most important re-signings. Then Hamilton, Likely, Odafe, and Rashad. It really comes down to the type of seasons they have. I think this will be Mark Andrews last year. I could possibly see them maybe even trading him mid-season. Because I just feel like it's moments that Mark Andrews just missed, man. And I love him. I love what he's brought to the table. I love, the type of guy he's been. But when it comes to times that we really needed him, he hasn't really been able to show up. And that's been with a lot of players. But Mark Andrews has been Lamar Jackson's guy since they pretty much got in here. And I'm going to be real. Mark Andrews takes away the options. He's the number one option for Lamar. And I think we need to see that ball spread around a little bit more, because when, sometimes it is force-fed to Mark. It doesn't always work out in our favor. So I think Mark would be the last one to possibly be contract extension. But I don't know how EDC always moves. So, he can always surprise us. So what's your take? What's your thought?
If I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at it monetarily. Mm-hmm. And I think that on this list, the best player without a doubt is Kyle Hamilton. And the safety market just went up. I can't remember who, but someone just signed a big contract, like 20 plus.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So the market's already up for Kyle Hamilton. The other thing is, Kyle Hamilton is the best safety in the NFL. So paying him franchise tag money, if it comes to that, is actually still pretty cheap. Is actually kind of inexpensive. Linderbaum, it would be kind of expensive. Like, I don't think he's the best center in the NFL. I think he's in the top 5 consideration. But offensive line is as a whole. So it's not just centers. We'd be paying him a ton. So I think Linderbaum would be my number 2. But my number 1 is Isaiah Likely. Because I think Isaiah Likely is a top 5 tight end in the NFL. I think there's I think there's one tight end I would just distinctively say, like, for the future, yes, I want them over Isaiah Likely. That's Brock Bowers. That's the only one that I'm looking at as like, yeah, this guy's better. Like, I think I would probably there's Ravens bias being in here, but I'm taking Likely over Laporta long term. I'm taking Likely over Travis Kelce. Like Travis Kelce might be better right now, but obviously Travis Kelce might retire next year. I'm taking Likely over Mark Andrews. I'm taking Likely over Hawkinson, who's coming off of an injury and hasn't been the same. I think Isaiah Likely is extremely talented. And I feel like he knows he's talented. And the league, if this had been last year, right? The league kind of was like unaware of Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely in Madden was like a 71 overall. And was like, yo, what? Like Likely's nice. And then
that's a touchdown pass.
And then week 1 happens, and Isaiah Likely is like 120 yards receiving, breaks like an absurd amount of tackles against the Chiefs, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's nice." Okay. And then the playoffs happen, and the Ravens are down 8, with a minute left. And Lamar Jackson just goes Isaiah Likely dart back of the end zone. It was like, "Oh wow, yeah, this is the guy now." I feel like for Lamar Jackson, and so I feel like Likely is going to get a huge contract. But I feel like Likely is tight end 1 this year. And I think that means better numbers. And if he puts up those better numbers, man, he's going to get a lot of money. Like, I feel like we got to pay him now because I think he's a must-keep player, but his price is just going to skyrocket with how well I expect him to play. Like, Kyle Hamilton, like, his price is already capped. He's going to become the highest paid safety in the NFL. It just depends on when he's signing the contract. Isaiah Likely, he might become the highest paid tight end in the NFL, but I'd like to pay him before he does because that's a lot of money. So, like, that's my thought process is I want to pay Isaiah Likely the most because I feel like he has the most to gain, and I think he will actually gain a lot of value. Is there anyone on this list that you're like, I'm cool with letting him go?
I don't want to say it, McConnell.
Or how about this? You don't expect the Ravens to re-sign them, to format it in a little more positive way.
Nah, man, it gotta be how it's going to be. I think it's going to be a Daffy, man. I think it's going to be a Daffy. The reason I say that is because when I look at history, the Ravens organization, we have left edge rushers walk off the door, make their money. Some of them have had a decent career afterwards, after being a Raven, and some hasn't. If he puts up another double-digit sack season, either let him walk or you find a way to keep him. And I just feel like you done drafted all these guys.
Yeah.
He calls brother, he went to high school with, had all these relationship and ties with. You can't, it's really a job. It's really a business where you can't really get emotionally tied because anything can happen. But it's like you bring all these people in. So we gonna make things happen. We gonna make it to the Super Bowl. We gonna be the Sack Brothers, all this other stuff. Next thing you know, you miss a half of your Sack brother. So I think if he does another 8 to 10 sack season this year, I feel like he's going to be the bottom of the totem pole. I think he's going to be the one that's that get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, and I just feel like, what are we doing with Mike Green if we're going to pay Adafe $20 million to stay? And I don't believe, like, the edge rusher market is out of control. $40 million a year for, I want to say, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt is ridiculous. That means Adafe, who is a 10-sack guy, he's going to want 20.
Yeah.
We're paying Beaks 20.
Yeah.
Like, Adafe is just not good enough for the Ravens, who are trying to win a championship. Now, if a team like the Panthers, who has a lot of cap space, I assume next year, they're like, yo, we kind of want to get an edge rusher now. Like, we're not contending. We can pay a guy big money just to get us a little bit competitive, get us a little bit of playoff experience. That's the type of guy you bring in, a guy like Odafe who could flourish into a Pro Bowl every year, a perennial Pro Bowler. Or you get him and you're like, okay, now he's not in the system, right? Because the Panthers, they went out and got, remember Clowney when he left us? And it was like, oh, he went to the Panthers and then
didn't the Panthers let DJ Burns one? Didn't they trade away DJ Burns?
Yeah, they got rid of Brian Burns.
So
DJ Burns is the NC State legend. Shout out DJ Burns, though. He could probably play defensive end. That guy was huge. But like, you get these guys and contending teams, you really only want to keep your superstars. And I don't think Odafe is a superstar. I don't know if we'll keep Bateman as well. I'd like to keep Bateman, but I feel like Bateman might want a lot of money because Bateman wasn't eligible for his rookie 5th-year option, which would have paid him like $15 million. Instead, he signed like a 2-year, $14 million contract because he wasn't eligible for the 5th-year extension. I feel like he wants his money. And last year, he was really good. And if he has a season like he did last year, I'd expect Bateman to be getting 12 to 15 million a year. I think I'd pay that for his talent level. I don't know if the Ravens have that to be able to pay because I think they're going to want to keep Zay. It just depends. Like maybe next year, the Ravens look at the draft class and they go, okay, are we drafting a receiver first round or no? Because if they are drafting a receiver first round, they're not keeping Bate. But if they aren't, I think they have to keep him because Nuke is only getting older. And then we obviously have Zay Flowers, who will be eligible for the 5th-year contract extension, which I assume we will use on him. But like we don't have the money to pay Bateman, $20 million a year. I assume he'll ask for like 12 to 15. And
I think Rashad Bateman has to keep in mind, like, I hate to say it. When you are a owner, when you are a manager, and you have to do your workers' evaluation, you have to look at everything. So when it comes to a football, when it comes to an athlete, we have to look at your availability. And I think that was really going to separate things, honestly, man. I mean, it was a blessing to have him, for the season. I think he did get banged up a little bit. I mean, he missed like 1 or 2 games. I could be wrong. But his availability since he's been a Raven has not been the best. And, being an athlete, things do happen. We do understand that. But he can demand it. He's always in his right to ask for what he wants or what he feel like he deserves. But at the end of the day, the business has to make a decision, have to make a call for themselves and their organization. I mean, to your point, McConnell, I think they will want to keep him. But at the same time, I feel like your franchise QB values Zay more than Rashad. I mean, granted, I know everybody always talked about it, and even we talked about it a little bit about, we haven't seen Rashad, never really working out with Lamar Jackson. He was almost reminded us of Miles Boykin, and it never, transitioned on the field. But I mean, with this case scenario is different. Rashad Bateman has better talent than Miles Boykin. Let's be completely honest. I just think, if they want to keep this nucleus, I think they'll make things happen. I think Rashad Bateman will be open to a more friendlier deal. But if he has a breakout season again where he doubles up, and let's be honest about it, Rashad Bateman and Daphio Wade was 2 guys, developmental first rounder guys. I mean, at the end of the day, they do deserve, what they feel like they deserve. They have made things happen within their rookie contract. I would, if it had to come down to it, I would take Daphio Wade because of his level of availability. He's been more healthier than Rashad Bateman. So
and if Bate comes out and plays 17 games or 15 games, that might change. But last year was his like 1 full year in 5 years, or this will be his 5th year. So, it'd be pretty interesting to see what happens. Hopefully we get at least 1 contract extension done before the season starts. But I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching this on, YouTube and stuff, it came out in 3 segments, but we're wearing the same clothes. We're talking the same topics. But let us know when you want us to live stream, what you want us to talk about in the next video, and who your favorite Ravens pick was, and as always, who you want us to extend. Thank you all so much. Subscribe for more Daily Ravens content, and we'll see all of you again next time.